got up before dawn just to bring you
Top of the Morning from downtown Baltimore.
I'm James Brumfield.
And I'm Michelle Leone.
And you're watching Top of the Morning.
And we're here at Top of the World.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful day. Yeah, nice and sunny.
Yeah, and we have a great guest today, Bob Lawless from McCormick & Company.
Yes, and so definitely stay tuned. We'll be back and we'll learn a little about spices.
Yeah, all about the spice.
Spicing, yeah.
It's going to be a hot show. Es muy caliente. Es muy picante. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Today our guest is Bob Lawless of McCormick Company.
And?
Bob, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Great to be here. Great to be part of the community. As everybody knows, McCormick's been part of the community for over 117 years. As I look out top of the World Trade Center, I can see our old facility on Light Street, which we sold to Rouse & Company back in 1987.
Okay. But what a lot of people don't know about McCormick is that you do a lot in the community, as you were saying, and you have a scholarship endowment. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. We call it, we do two major things in the community. One's our Unsung Hero Award, and it's designed around the philosophy of our founder, C.P. McCormick, where we recognize students that are not the superstars. Female basketball player, male football player. And each year they have to, their coaches have to submit letters to a panel of judges, non-McCormick panel of judges from universities around the state, and they judge whoever has the most compelling unsung hero story. And for that individual, each year we give them a $25,000 scholarship at a college of their choice.
How many individuals?
Two. We do two of them each year, so we have obviously several in progress right now. We've been doing this for 69 years. Next year will be our 70th year of the Unsung Hero Banquet.
And this isn't the best competitor,
No,
it's just...
no, there's nothing best about these individuals, and it kind of represents what we are worldwide as a company. We're average employees trying to make a difference in the flavor of food, beverages, and snacks that people eat, but we're average employees, we're average people. We don't profess to be superstars, and that's the way we recognize in the community. 2 students each year, and oftentimes these students cannot go to college themselves on their own financially. So our involvement allows them to go to college. The second thing we do is called C Day, or Charity Day. Every employee worldwide at McCormick works a day for charity, and the company matches their wages for that particular day.
How many employees do you have?
So we have about 9,000 employees worldwide, and so every employee, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in El Salvador, whether it's Australia, whether it's China, whether it's in Europe, work a day for charity, and we donate that money, match that money, and donate it to a cause locally, whether it's in UK or whether it's here in Baltimore.
Oh, so it's different charities?
Different charities.
And it's all voluntary? They
All
just
voluntary.
come in and work for...
They come in and work. Normally it's a Saturday, although recently, because of the lives that people live and the busyness, we've converted it to a Friday. So you have to work your 40 hours a week, Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday you work a day of your own time, and we match the salary that gives.
So what was the last match that you had? How much money did you raise?
We give to the United Way approximately $1.5 million here in Baltimore every year through our charity
Wow.
day.
Wow.
So it's a very significant gift, and everybody participates. And then through the United Way, you can direct to local charities, providing they're a 401c3 charity. So those are the real compelling things that we
That's
do
amazing.
worldwide. We do worldwide in our company. And I guess the last thing I would say we try to have most of our senior executives on boards in the community, whether it's hospital boards, whether it's charitable boards, or whether it's active and paid boards. So we encourage people to get involved in the community.
And this was a big part of the original owner, McCormick.
Right.
Really
He
wanted-
founded this. C.P. McCormick founded that, and he was somebody that had that philosophy.
that vision.
That vision,
Giving
exactly
back.
right. Exactly right.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about McCormick, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are with Jim Lynn at the McCormick and Company. We are most fortunate to be in a real live, real world situation, and you may hear a lot of noises of people walking back and forth, employees that are working away here, and more power to them. And we're about to go on a tour of the McCormick and Company Tea House. Come with us on this adventure. Folks, we're sitting in one of the booths of the McCormick's and Company Tea House. And sitting here in the lounge, I noticed that it has a real motif, an Old English motif. Tell us about this tea house.
Pete, back in the 30s, legendary chairman Charles P. McCormick wanted to create an environment that was very comfortable for visiting salespeople. So he had Edwin Tunis, a local architect and artist, design an entire floor that has an Elizabethan motif. So if you were on that floor downtown, you saw offices that had thatched roofs, fronts, old Elizabethan architecture, windows. The whole environment was recreated, and then it became popular for tourists to come, visitors to come, tour groups, and they would tour the floor, go into the little theater, see a video about, actually then it wasn't a video, it would be a film strip, about McCormick and the spice trade, and then they would have tea in the tea lounge. And we moved out here in the 80s, and took a lot of the original tea lounge from downtown and have recreated this environment in our corporate office. And now it's basically used for employees for just meetings, when we have retirement teas, that type of thing. So it's a part of our history that we wanted to take with us from downtown.
Oh, it's fantastic. Just being here gives me a feeling of sort of an ancient tea ceremony or something, just people clustering and having a great time, but way back in yesteryear.
Well, it really is a time capsule of our history, because the cabinets along the walls are filled with our old packaging. Really back to the beginning, we have our original business was in the flavor and extracts line.
I see.
And many of these old bottles that have a value and also are of great interest to collectors.
That one actually looks like a medicine bottle. What a horrible shape on that one.
It's funny you say that, because yes, we were in the flavoring extract business, but for years we were also in the medicinal business.
I see.
And items such as Uncle Sam's liniment for man or beast. We sold a number of these products, even got into the glue trade, iron glue. Sticks everything but the buyer. Some great marketing slogans. But over the years, we collected a number of our great old packaging, and in the tea house here, we filled the cabinets with it, and it really covers the extracts.
Sort of a sleek bottle here, isn't it? Has a lot more shape to it.
Yes, you're getting up into the 1930s, where our original brand was the B brand, and then we started to put the McCormick name in as well. But vanilla, of course, has always been one of our main products, and we have a number of bottles from the 20s, 30s, all the way up that capture our history and show the change of our packaging over the years. And also here, a very popular product line of ours for years, especially in the Baltimore area, was the McCormick tea business. And we have a collection, as many Baltimore residents do, of the old McCormick teapots. We have a number of them here, and the tea tins. The old McCormick Tea House, where we really did capture the look of the Elizabethan tea house that we're in now, actually onto the packaging. So many local Baltimoreans know about our tea products, and it's still very popular. Though we don't sell as much as we used to, it's not one of our main lines at all, but it still is quite a big part of our history.
What would you have inside of this tin? Would it be cookies or tea
Oh no,
itself,
the tea bags would be in here.
Oh, the tea bag.
And this is an original tin from probably the late 30s, with the tea bags still in place.
Wow.
Mesh cloth tea bags, which you don't find too much anymore.
That's neat.
So a number of our old packages have the original product still in them. You don't want to do that with spice, but the flavorings and other things you can keep for a long time. But the whole room is filled with really a time capsule of our company. Over there is a large canister that shows, I think you'd probably find that years ago in a general store or more of a full-scale grocery store, where you can see the various product lines, the vanilla, the cloves, the mace, and the grocer would tip it open and scoop out exactly what you need. But a number of years ago, Bailey Thomas, a former chairman and president of the company, he saw that and bought it for this particular location, and he loved the history, as many of our employees do as well.
We try to encourage that all over the world. You know, if you look at where McCormick was, it started out as a very small company here in Baltimore 117 years ago. This year will be about $2.9 billion in revenue. We sell in 100 countries and we manufacture products in 39 different countries around the world. We have more employees outside the United States than we do inside the United States now, which is a pretty unique phenomenon.
Yeah.
So,
don't you have a Euro McCormick?
we do.
France?
We do.
Like
we
that?
have 4 different businesses in Europe: UK, France, Italy, and Belgium. Are the 4 large businesses we have in Europe.
Wow.
And we're all in the similar businesses of selling flavor. People think of McCormick of a spice company or a pepper company, but we have transitioned that to a flavor company. We flavor everything from bottled water to potato chips to chicken to yogurt to all the seasonings you would see in the grocery store shelves that you use at home. And finally, we end up seasoning beer. So there's a variety of products we participate in all over the world using our flavor expertise. We are flavorists. That's what we do so well.
I didn't even
We
know
actually
yogurt
have a
had
clip
flavor.
of the
Exactly.
whole at your site in Hunt Valley.
Correct.
And you guys actually have a flavor spice for steak that I use.
Right. Montreal steak seasoning is our
Yep,
number 1
that's-
selling
I love
product
it.
worldwide.
Montreal steak.
love
Yeah,
it.
we,
It
we,
is
we,
wonderful.
we started to sell that in 1991. Pepper used to be our largest, but
Yeah.
Montreal steak seasoning now has
chicken too?
surpassed, and there's chicken and there's teriyaki, et cetera. And it's a whole line of grilling sauces and grilling products that allow beef, chicken, or pork to taste a lot better than with nothing else on it.
What do you flavor beer with? Like beer
We had an
flavoring?
interesting flavor project back in the year 2000 where we worked with Anheuser-Busch, and they were coming out with a beer that was called Tequiza,
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
and they needed tequila flavoring, and we ended up providing the tequila flavoring, which we imported out of Mexico, processed it and sold it them to make Tequiza, which was one of the largest selling new products 2000 and 2001 for the younger generation.
So I thought that was just like tequila and beer mixed. And I thought,
Well,
oh,
that's-
that's a great idea. But
kind of what it is, and it was designed to compete with Corona, and
Uh-huh.
lime is exactly the company.
so they have something that can be a tequila flavor.
Exactly right.
Wow.
And we extract that from the tequila plant in Mexico, and we process it. It's just like a lot of the flavors we have today. They're usually extracted from plants in a liquid format. We process it and end up diluting the flavor depending on the strength that's needed, and selling it and putting it into one of our, we compound it and putting one of our flavors and seasonings.
So I guess vanilla would go into the yogurt.
Vanilla goes into yogurt. Vanilla's not a compound, it's a direct,
That's
it
an
comes
extra.
right out of the orchid plant.
I have a question. I read that you just opened a sensory center. Now,
Correct.
what is a sensory center?
Well, it's part of this whole flavor concept. When we bring products to our customers desire our products to be in a finished state. For example, they desire to be laboratory tested, manufacturer tested, and consumers on the outside to test it. So we have a sensory panel, and we have sensory panels every day of the week. You have to qualify and pass, which I didn't.
Can't have sinus problems.
Yeah,
I guess.
you don't pass. And you know, and people have different palates for savory, sweet, sour, bitter. Everybody's palate is different. So we're able to analyze and assess their palates, and then put the ones that we want to assess a bitter product in that particular taste panel. We then end up with a finished product that has passed the consumer's testing. When we go to our customers, they're much more willing, much more accepting of our particular flavor.
So it's like a focus group for taste
Exactly,
testing.
exactly right.
Wow.
Do
Exactly
you have
right.
tours at your center?
We don't. We used to have tours downtown. We
taste
don't.
them.
I'd love to try that.
We don't.
Taste them.
How do you
We don't.
qualify for like taste testing? Do you have to like?
Actually, it's on our internet. You go on our website and click on Sensory, and you get a phone number, and you can actually go in and try out if you want.
Do you know what the website
It's
is?
like the tryouts. Yes,
I bet some people would love to try it.
www.mccormick.com
Okay.
is our
That's-
website.
So if you want to be a taste tester, go on there and try
Exactly
it out.
It's
right.
a sensory.
Exactly.
Oh, a sensory.
Sensory,
Do you
yeah.
like smell the spice? Do you like?
Well, sensory is taste and smell,
Okay.
both.
Okay, so you do
So
both.
it's a combination of both.
You have to be like blindfolded and not be told what you're testing.
Sometimes they do that, yeah.
I guess sometimes it's not so good.
That's
Sometimes it's
right.
really good. Okay.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
cool.
I actually read that you guys developed a tea bag.
We used to be in the tea business, yes. Way back when. In the early days, we used to be a large manufacturer and seller of tea. Unfortunately, tea got very, very competitive with the Liptons of the world and the Tetleys of the world, and there was McCormick of the world. So we either had to buy somebody big or get very, very small. And today we only sell small amounts of teas to the food service industry.
So is that kind of what happened to the tea tours? The tea
Exactly.
house?
We had the tea, well, the tea house has been replicated at our brand new headquarters in Lufton, Maryland. We took the tea house from downtown Light Street, took it intact, moved it all out to our world headquarters in Lufton, the 18 Lufton Circle.
Cool.
So
Well, I'd
it's-
like to hear more about the tea bags, but we've got a clip we're going to take a look at real quick. So let's see that. Be right back.
Folks, we've just moved to a very interesting place. Tell us about it, Jim.
Pete, we're in front of a fireplace that actually stood downtown at our Light Street facility.
Wow.
And engraved upon the fireplace is "Make the best, someone will buy it," which was the motto of our founder, Willoughby McCormick. And it really is the showplace of the entire tea house. And back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, up until probably the 70s, it was not unusual for tourists downtown to visit the McCormick headquarters and sign up for one of, I think it was 2 scheduled tours, where they would tour Friendship Court, see a film strip of the spice trade and the history of the company, and then be brought into a room and sit in these exact chairs at these tables when they were downtown and be served tea and cookies by hostesses in hoop skirts, looking just like right out of the Elizabethan time. It was a fun part of our history, and I think we've captured a little bit of it here in Loveton.
Seems to have a flair of Williamsburg.
Yes, there's a Williamsburg feel to it, just kind of a look back at a different time, a happy time. And the rest of the building, you'll see there are a number of murals. Edwin Tunis, the architect who designed this structure when it was downtown, also was an artist and painted a large number of murals that capture the global spice trade in beautiful, colorful murals that we have on various floors in this building. They were downtown, even more than we're downtown. But it's an attractive way to capture your history in what is normally just our corporate headquarters office.
Yes, indeed. Joining us now is Joanne Booker, indeed one of the hostesses from way back when in the 1980s in the tea room of McCormick and Company down in the Inner Harbor. And we have some of the original dresses that were worn at that time. What did it feel like to dress up in a costume and interact with people?
It was really wonderful.
Tell us about it.
You felt like you were back in time. I get to dress up every day and walk around and give tours and talk about the company and serve tea and just be a hostess. It was very nice. Truly enjoyed it.
Did you ever have problems climbing stairs and things of that sort with these long dresses on?
It took a while to get used to it, but you got used to it in a hurry. Real quick. So, no.
I imagine if you were carrying tea and all, you wouldn't want to trip and fall.
Absolutely not.
What were the people like that you served?
Oh, wonderful. They were just so glad to be at McCormick and to hear the history and to learn about McCormick and find out about the products and what we did and where the spices came from. They enjoyed it. They truly did.
And these were the actual dresses that you wore back there in the 1980s as you were a hostess in the McCormick and Company Tea House.
Yes, yes, these lovely, wonderful dresses.
You know, I recall that my wife in the 1950s and 1960s wore, maybe more in the 50s, wore some sort of a hoop thing. That was the style at the time. So this probably was what one would just get in a regular store in those days.
Yeah, we wore this to keep the dress out, to make it fuller, and to just to give it the look that it has.
Joanne, how many hostesses were there down there at any given time?
The time that I was hostessing, it was 2 of us. But over the years, I'm sure there was more like 15 at different times.
And it was
from
kind
the
of
beginning.
a badge of honor to be a hostess down there.
Yes,
it was a special
it was.
position.
Yes. You felt special. I mean, it was just a nice, wonderful, wonderful time. I just can't explain it. You had to be there to really appreciate it and to get the feel and the atmosphere of our Light Street location.
Great part of our history. And this was one of the dresses too?
Yes, this was one of my gowns that I wore while I was giving tours during the day. And
the hoop would go under it.
Hoop would go under it, sort of to give it effect.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Neat.
And this is what it looked like.
And thank you so much, Joanne. We love the opportunity to interact with you and sort of get the flavor of how things were back in the 1980s when you were a hostess in the McCormick
Well, thank
tea
you. It
house.
was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Took me
All
back
the-
a little bit, but I truly enjoyed it.
All the best to you.
Thank you so very much.
We're sitting in front of cabinets containing memorabilia for that great American company, McCormick and Company. Tell us about these.
Yes, they are filled. The cabinets are filled behind leaded glass with packaging from really the 1890s, the beginnings of our company, all the way through. We have some modern packaging there as well. Captures our extracts when we were in the medicinal products, spices as well, and tea, of course. So really, it's a representation of a larger collection that we have in our archive. And I will say, one area where our archive is very short is in Old Bay. We purchased the Old Bay brand probably close to 20 years ago and don't have much of the history as far as packaging and advertising. And we're always on the lookout for Old Bay artifacts. So that's something where we'd like to build our archive to add to the wonderful history that we already have here.
Yes. And I imagine with the Chesapeake Bay and Old Bay, that's certainly the place to have this spice,
It was
right here in Maryland.
It was a natural fit for us to...
Okay, folks, and back to you.
No, that was a piece of nostalgia right there. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Can you tell us some history about the tea house?
I can. As I said, the tea house, was part of Baltimore, part of downtown Baltimore. People used to go and do their shopping, come over and have a tea. Every now and then you could run into our senior executives because they had tea in the tea lounge too. So it wasn't an inside or outside tea house. It was very much part of the community. Unfortunately, when we moved from Light Street in 1996 out to Hunt Valley, because we just had no more room downtown, we took the tea house with us and transferred it down in 1991 to our world headquarters in Lufton right now.
Okay. And you also acquired Old Bay,
Right.
which is, Baltimore, Maryland's spice.
Yeah, that's
It
our
is.
biggest spice.
It is. People think it's huge. We sell Old Bay up the sort of the eastern corridor. We've tried to sell Old Bay since we acquired it back in the 80s. We tried to sell it in Florida because Old Bay crabs fish. Because Old Bay has many other uses.
Yeah, I know.
Potato
I season everything with Old Bay.
Exactly.
Old Bay
That's
is
I season eggs with Old Bay.
in this state, people do it like to have it on their toast.
Right.
A lot of their Bloody Marys are like rimmed with
cob on the corn. Cob on the corn is the
yeah.
best. Potato salad, it's the best. Old Bay has a tremendous flavor profile that just seems to be restricted to this eastern corridor. We just can't get it any farther. But it's been a great acquisition for us, allowed us to sort of be in the crab business. We do the crab shuffle at Orioles Stadium. We do a whole bunch of events downtown. We do the shrimp eating contest with Old Bay. And
Where are these things?
Yeah, where's the shrimp eating contest?
it's actually right down here in the Inner Harbor. It's in June of every year, and we bring in all the big shrimp eaters all over the United States, and we have this big shrimp eating contest, and the winner gets a trip somewhere in the world that's sponsored
to a
by
hospital.
us. Sponsored by us. So
Cool. That's cool. How can people find out more about when the next shrimp eating contest is?
once again, I would suggest go on our website, www.mccormick.com,
Okay.
and go on to our CPD, our Consumer Products Division, which is our U.S. consumer products, and get in there. And once you get in the website there, it'll point you to where all these.
And it's every day in
activities
June here in the Inner Harbor?
are. No, one day.
One day.
I mean, it's
one
it's
day
every June.
Every June in the harbor.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to answer, where is McCormick today and what do you see in the future for the McCormick company?
Well, it's been a great company. It's one of the things we really espouse at McCormick is people. People are our most important ingredient for success, and I think if you ask our retirees and our current employees, that's what we're all about. enriching people's lives, and globalization. Today we operate in 5 major countries in the world. We sell in 100 different countries, but we operate in 5 major countries in the world. The objective is to get to 10 major countries in the world. The next vision of McCormick is China and India. We've been in
And
China.
there's a lot of spices in China and
That
the
is-
Asia
yeah.
area. I mean, it's
That
not
is
where
correct.
spices
That's where
kind of
most of them are grown.
Right,
Out in
definitely.
there in between Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, etc. That's where most of the Indonesia, where the spices are grown. But our objective now is to grow and make it bigger. 1, 2, have innovation. New products drive us. That's how we grow anymore. It's not selling more of the same. We do that, but we have to get the major growth from innovation or new products.
So you guys are trying to develop new flavors?
Exactly, every day. We have flavorists every day working on new flavors, twists to the current flavors with our current customers.
What is your number 1 selling flavor?
You know, I'd like to share that with you, but I can't.
Oh, is it?
I can't share that. Now,
It's a secret.
it's a proprietary formula that we sell, and we do sell a lot of it on a worldwide basis with
Oh, yeah.
major customers. I just can't share that with you today.
Are there
But
any
it's-
examples
it's
of like
significant.
twists that you're trying
It's
to make?
significant. Why, I think that the big twist is how do we provide the consumer? The consumer wants 3 things today: convenience, unbelievable quality, unbelievable flavor delivery, and cost is not that important
Really?
in our sector.
Well, I guess it's, you know,
They
it's worth
want to
it
be able to
get
get
the
a
best.
jar of product, take it home, and have everybody go, wow.
Yeah.
That's
steak-
our
your steak
goal
season.
today as well. Montreal steak season
Oh, that's
accomplishes
great.
that, yes, it does.
So would you like to share any last thoughts with us before you go?
One of the things that's very important for McCormick employees here in the state of Maryland and worldwide is stay independent. A lot of companies in Maryland that grew up the time we did, 117 years old, have been sold. And one of the goals we have as a leadership team is to remain independent, be McCormick and Company, not owned by anybody except our shareholders and current employees. So that's a passion we all have. A lot of employees own stock in McCormick. Obviously, a lot of retirees own stock. A lot of the senior executives are very rich because of the stock. So as a result of that, we all have this tremendous passion and desire. To
And that's on the New York
stay
Stock
independent.
Exchange.
Trades on the New York Stock Exchange, MKC.
So we expect to
MKC.
see you around for quite some time.
We sure are planning to do that, yes, in the state of Maryland.
Cool. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming on our show, talking with us. Everybody, thanks for watching.
Spice up your life.
And go to McCormick.com and check out when the shrimp eating contest is going to be. And
Try out the Montreal steak.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. I marinate it and then cook it the next day.
Or
It's
try to
great.
be a taste tester. Go online and check that out.
Yeah. We should try that out. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very
Thank you very
much.
much.
Appreciate it. Thanks very
Nice
much.
talking with you.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Well, everybody, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.